An elven warrior trapped on modern-day Earth. Two friends with different destinies meet at a magical school. These are some of the stories we at Electric Lips Comics are working on. You can get your copies of both The Mana Chronicles and Tales of Itherel at elpmerch.com. Support independent creators. Explore the merch featuring exciting ELP Comics art with a wide range of designs. Electric Lips Comics. Imagination electrified.
Never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Every experience, whether good or bad, holds a lesson. In every challenge, there's growth. Every failure offers wisdom. Life is constantly evolving, and so should we. The moment we think we know it all, we close the door to possibility. Stay curious, stay open, and remember that every day is an opportunity to become a little wiser, a little stronger, and a little better than before.
Well, welcome back, Oil Runners. We are here with Jake Cole today. Right now, he's in the backstage, but we're going to play a small video for you that he has done, and that he has no idea which one I chose. So I actually loved it. He has some great work. So go on to his YouTube. We all share, like, subscribe, comment. We are all here in this together because it is a hard thing to stay in the algorithm and keeping up with everything going with that. And I know TikTok is probably going down. I think I don't know. I think it's in a couple of days, honestly. We'll see what happens with that. But Instagram, TikTok, Facebooks, all that. We like, share, subscribe with each other. We're not those types of people. Anybody I bring on, we're not those types of people to be sitting there and follow, unfollow just for the follows and whatever that algorithm is. But we actually do care about each other. So let's just keep that going. Let's come in, comment, whatever it is. He's a producer, all kinds of stuff. If you have questions, ask the questions. If you have things, we actually, I look in the comments, we see the comments, we'll talk to you, we'll put them up in there. So it is an engaging situation. So if you're struggling in the producing, whatever, any gift, anybody that we have on here, any question that you have, please ask it. We are here to help you. We're not here to gatekeep. We're here to help teach, inspire, learn, grow with each other, and everything. So things are just kind of changing up a little bit. So we are going to play the video if you give me just 2 seconds to figure this out. All right. Hold on, Jake. We'll get to you. We're gonna play the video.
No worries.
Okay, well, you can find that at Jake colefilms.com, or like, well, that's his website right here, jakecolesfilms.com, and his YouTube and all his other stuff is at Jake Cole Films. That was a great video, and I love traveling.
Thank you.
Yes.
I also love traveling.
Yeah. So I know I put it in here, but because it was a travel, I have a little joke. So I live in Alaska, so it's you are in Alaska when 15 degrees below zero is just a 2-blanket night. Like, so we're gonna add a little bit more jokes in there for that.
Yeah.
So welcome in.
Thank you.
So
Glad to be here.
Yeah, no problem. How have you been?
I've been doing very well. Yeah, just keeping pretty busy and getting 2025 off to a very good start.
Nice. So that project that you did, where was that at?
The one you just showed?
Mm-hmm.
That was in Destin, Florida. So it's super funny that you brought that one up, because that was one of like the first travel videos I did where I was like using like one of my first like, real kind of film cameras. But I have a very fun story about the drones. That drone, one of those drone shots, like going over the water, was very close apparently to a military base. So they forced it to land like in the middle of a highway.
Oh,
So
nice.
like pull off and grab it off the side of the highway at one point. But yeah, that's so funny. I haven't seen that video in a couple of years.
Wow. Well, see, you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
I like to pick and surprise the people. So
Yeah.
if I get a chance to do that, yeah. The drones I have a drone, but I have yet to put it together. So,
Gotcha.
But I'm also kind of afraid, like you said, the military and all that stuff. And I live near the base, but and I'm also afraid to lose it in the ocean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least like with DJI, like their drones are smart enough it returns home by itself if it like loses connection. So they're pretty smart these days, which is very fortunate for me. Because I would have lost plenty of drones. I've had 2 drones. One of them's kind of destroyed-ish. I crashed into a tree while I was doing a project for one of the schools up here. We were filming a documentary about the water in Lake Erie and how it's bad, and a bunch of high school kids were like testing the water and all that. I was just getting a nice drone shot of this bus kind of pulling up, and ended up crashing into a tree, and I had to pay a kid $50 to climb up a tree and get it back. So it was a great time.
Wow. Yes. I'm not sure if I could pay animals to give it back on my end.
Yeah, for sure.
I crashed it into a doll sheep or something. I don't know. But, so how long have you been in the industry?
I've been doing this since about 2015, 16. And I've been editing since I was about like 12 or 13.
Okay. So I saw on your website that you were dealing with Netflix.
Yeah, we whenever lots of projects like to come to the area, usually people hit me up to try and help staff them. So one of the people that, at least in the past, a couple of projects that I've been a part of, they've asked me to kind of help throw people their way. So I'm always happy to help support Netflix or Hulu or Disney or whoever likes to roll through the area. We like to be able to get people staffed up and with good people, because I also run an internship through Kent State University called Filmmaker 2.0, where I try and home grow our very own interns. And speaking of, our boy Zach Gozen here in the comments was part of our first batch, and he is an absolute legend around the area right now. So if you check out anybody, check this guy out too.
Yeah, put your stuff in the comments, Zach. We'll go to your stuff and like all your stuff and whatnot. We'll get you hooked up as well with people, and you're invited to the show as well. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's great that you're doing this and that you're not a gatekeeper. I'm very
No,
big.
I am very opposed to gatekeeping. I've heard that, like, at least even in my area, that things can be a bit competitive, and I'm not going to sit here and say it hasn't been in the past. However, I'm more so a person focused on what we can do now, what we can do for the future, and part of that is,
Mhm.
helping as many independent productions as I possibly can, whether it be financially or just using equipment, or if I can help staff them in any way. Um, and then at the same time help try and home grow some of our own really good crew members. And that's part
Yeah.
of the filmmaker 2.0 experience that I have with the students. I want to make sure that, by the end of their time with me, that they have at least a couple of things that they've done, that they've been a part of a couple of different productions, that they have a good resume. So that way they're not just a deer in the headlights going off into the industry like, holy crap, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
And so, yeah, and I like to make sure that, rising tides raise all boats. And if I can make sure that those boats can float on their own, that's an extra little pip for me.
Absolutely. Because I personally am trying to get into that, right? But it
Hmm.
is a very hard thing when you're trying to do it by yourself and then
Yes.
you're looking up on YouTube and all that stuff. And it's like everybody's like, oh, let me pay. I need you to pay $300 or $1,000. I
Yeah.
just want to learn how to turn on the stupid camera.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, what does this like definition mean?
Yeah.
Or
Right.
stuff like that. So I'm grateful for people like you to be able to help and give tips out
Oh,
and so
absolutely.
even though no matter where we're at, beginners, novice,
Hmm.
experts, whatever it is, we're all in the same. We all have that creative mindset that needs to go out. We have so many negative things that are going out, or like just even having to do the journalistic portions of things, like the
Hmm.
fires going on and the
Right.
earthquakes and all that. But it's the equipment we got to learn how to use first. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? The ideas are here, but
Absolutely. It's just trying to get them out into the world is always the hardest part.
yeah,
And that's where I like to try and come in to, show people it's possible. I like to relate to this to everybody. Just do the damn thing. It's step by step. You just learn, small things every day, and you kind of grow into what you want to be. You are what you think about. And if you think that of yourself as a filmmaker, you'll go out and you'll make the content. You'll figure out the things. You'll stay up all night watching YouTube videos and spending money that you probably shouldn't be on a bunch of equipment.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, it's worth it. It's very worth it.
absolutely. That I don't. My camera is my most expensive piece. Well, I have my computers and all that stuff, but when
Yeah.
I go out, I cannot leave my camera in the car with somebody else driving it somewhere. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
That's me. It's
Well,
literally
funny enough, Zach is actually my first AC on plenty of things. Ugh. And he has lots of experience with my little guy right here.
oh wow,
The
okay.
Sony FX30, got a cage
Uh-huh.
on it and a bunch of other stuff. But you don't necessarily need to just have a whole thing like this to get started with what you want to do as a filmmaker.
Okay.
You have right in your pocket, usually 4K, a phone.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that can be opposed to, phone filmmaking, but at the same time, you start somewhere.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. I Yeah, let's start with that. Like because that's somewhere me personally, I definitely need to know. Like I definitely
Hmm.
have a phone and I have a 7D Mark II camera, right?
Nice.
Um and so like the goal, me personally, I want to be journalistically putting together, how like those films that are on TV on Netflix for the or Disney Channel for the animal channel, that kind of just filming that
Yeah.
and then putting up piecing it together. It's
Yeah.
not that simple, guys. It's really not. But
Yeah.
that big old piece of equipment that you just had, do I necessarily have to have that?
You don't necessarily have to have that. Truly, when you get to, when you start getting more equipment and you start getting more familiarized with, your own workflow, a lot of it becomes just bells and whistles. You
Okay.
have, and if I pull this back up, you have at the very base of it, right here is a camera.
All right.
And at the very base of it, I can just take this camera off and just have this lens and go out shooting.
Right.
Everything else, I can hand grip, peripheral, an
So,
external monitor, which works great. If you're going to be a filmmaker, get an external monitor. Um,
okay.
but yeah, it's all peripheral stuff. It's all accessories, usually the bells and whistles, and it's really what makes your life easier as like a director of photography or as a camera person. Mainly because you can go out there with a bare bones kit, and a lot of the times we do. I'm actually about to do that sometime here in the next couple of hours. We're going to go film some fun food content. Um,
Okay.
so you don't necessarily need all the bells and whistles to get yourself started. You just really need, a camera, something to point at, and a subject to shoot, and preferably good audio.
Okay. So you have to have that boom.
You don't necessarily need booms. If you're starting out, I would look into something like the Rode Wireless Go 2 mics. They're like wireless mics that you can hook directly into your camera, and it'll feed the audio directly into the camera. So as soon as you hit record, you'll have just great audio right out the gate, as long as it's placed properly on the subjects. But there's a lot of good audio solutions you can get yourself into for just starting out.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, to me, all that equipment is a lot when you have to run from a bear. I'm just being
Yes.
real.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
I
the
couldn't
less the
imagine a
better.
boom bike running away from a bear with a boom bike. It's a lot
Because
easier with some little lobs on you.
yeah, because I mean, even if I mean, you can't put a microphone on the bear, so like that's kind of. I mean, if I just want a silent movie to where it's just music, and
Mhm.
then all the animals or the Alaska scene, like how you just did on that video,
Yeah.
without having to have that audio of everybody talking or whatever, just doing
Right.
stuff like that a little bit. And it's
Mhm.
kind of hard on that.
Yeah. I mean, truly, I think one of the game changers that I kind of figured out was paying for music. Like I pay a year subscription for Soundstripe. It's like 200 ish and some change a year, but you
Okay.
get a ton of royalty free music that you
Oh,
can use in all your projects. They basically give you small little license keys that you put like in the descriptions of your YouTube videos to make sure that it doesn't like take your content down. But yeah, there's so many creators out there that use these kind of tools like Soundstripe or Music Bed or a bunch of other like royalty-free music things. That was one of the really good kind of facets I ended up getting into to make the
okay.
videos just stand out a bit more on their own, and I'm not just ripping some free music off of YouTube that people have heard a billion times.
Right. Yeah. And what about just had it in my head, the editing software.
So with editing, I started off young as an editor because me and my friends used to make stupid backyard horror movies. And I'm like, I'll use Windows Movie Maker or whatever, and then that kind of translated or transferred into using a program called Sony Vegas up
Okay.
until in which I don't use anymore, which I don't recommend anyone to use anymore. It's not optimized anymore. They kind of quit doing anything with that in
Right.
like 2015 or 16. I use Adobe Premiere. I use all of the Adobe kind of interconnected system. Uh, it's I've been able to just kind of learn everything that I need to from there, and I'm pretty quick with it. But I do also recommend DaVinci because DaVinci is free. It's not the studio version, but the free version has a ton of functionality in it, especially if you want to learn something past easy things like CapCut, or if you want to start getting into like visual effects or color grading, things like that. DaVinci is a very good tool to use.
Okay. Well, I bought DaVinci because
Nice.
I wanted
Yes.
to do
DaVinci
stuff.
Studio is great.
Yeah, I like it. Right now I use Clipchamp that was on
Oh,
my
cool.
computer. I was like, huh, this is cute. Like simple, while you're trying to learn kind of
Yeah,
thing. What
absolutely.
the because Da Vinci was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. You but yeah, I learned that my computer had that clip champ. I came from nothing. Like on my computer, like I didn't even know how to use the camera
Mhm.
personally, like 7 years ago.
You all
And I
start
had
somewhere.
stupid laptop, and I to this day I don't like laptops. If you like a laptop, that's great, but me Personally,
Mhm.
I am not a laptop type of a person.
Yeah, I'm the guy that builds all of his computers.
Yeah.
I stick away from like the Apple ecosystem fairly well. So uh, I mean, I just feel like I can just build something that's better for cheaper, and that's usually the case.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If I learned how to do that, like, see, that's what I like to try to learn how to do is that kind of stuff. I'm just
Hmm. It is a lot. It really is a lot. Like there's no easy way to do any of this, and that's where it kind of comes in too. Is like as you learn, and even through my processes, I've been learning. uh, I really realized just the absolute benefit of having a solid team around you. Because you don't want to have to be the person running the camera, running the audio, doing the lights, getting people in their places, doing the location scouting, doing the storyboarding, and everything else that comes into that. It's a lot. It's an incredible amount for any one person.
right.
So at the end of the day, it's a lot of what you do as a filmmaker isn't just looking into the equipment. It's also building your network, building your team. And that's even part of why I do a lot of the internship that I do is because I want to make sure that not just people go out into the industry knowing what they're kind of doing, but I like to make good people that come out into the industry that work around here that can consistently get good jobs and have a good rating for doing those jobs. People. I've had really great interns, and I've had ones that'll kind of just go off and do their own thing, and you definitely see who shines, and those people usually will crew up with their own people. They'll get their own team, which is great for them. I love to see them, spread their wings and kind of get more people into their own flock. And my thing is, I just want to help produce great content. And if
Right.
that's me facilitating any small thing that I can, so be it.
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree that that team, it's just a lot just carrying the equipment
Mhm.
itself.
Yeah.
Like there's
Oh,
no
you got PAs and gaffers.
like, I do a little bit of the Iditarod out here, just
That's
for
so
fun
cool.
for my
I've always
myself.
wanted to go
You
see the Iditarod. That is
Well,
so awesome.
you got to come up. It is the best thing. Not just watching it on TV. It's like one of
Yeah,
those things experiencing it. I do security for it,
that's
so I
so
do
cool.
my Saturday of for me.
Mhm.
Obviously I do both photography days, right? But anytime I get to photograph, I'm good.
Mhm.
But Saturdays is usually my day because it's right down the street from my house, right? So in Anchorage, and so you get to have fun, meet a whole bunch of people from literally around the world, Switzerland, France, whatever,
That's
and
awesome.
it's cold, but it's worth it.
It's worth it for sure.
It's so worth it. And you just go through all that, and then just dealing with the dogs, seeing the dogs
Yeah,
happiness.
yeah.
And I almost got ran over the one time in Willow when they did the start, the actual start, right?
Hmm.
And the one time I decide to I was like, all right, since they're all going this way, when they come by, right? I'll just go here on this side and do, walk that way real quick before they come in, because they come in like every 2 minutes or so. So there's
Hmm.
maybe like two or three sleds that come through, or one or whatever. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, all right, I'm trying to get to my thing. And then the next thing I know, I turn back and I got like the dog sled, like really like not even a foot away from me, just about to knock me over. And then I was like, oh, dear God. But it was like, man, that's okay. And then I was like, the one time,
Yeah,
y'all
right,
were doing it on the
exactly.
other side. Come on. So it's already icy enough. And then the snow, like in that hard snow, you
Yeah.
fall in, but it's already in that ice kind of hard snow. So I was like, man, but it is, no, you can come up and volunteer from different parts of the world
Mhm.
to, just to come up and help.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Yeah,
gotta.
I'd love to roll up there and do a bunch of media. That's definitely a bucket list thing for me.
Oh yeah, totally worth it. Yeah, I got you. I work with the actual. Well, he retired, but Jeff Schultz, the actual photographer for that whole thing.
That's awesome.
So I'm now working with him in different ways. But yeah, it's totally, that is one of those things that it has to you have to be here to
Yeah.
experience.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's
And
one thing to watch it on TV. It's another thing to be in there and experience it.
yep, So I've been trying to do my little videography. You know, everybody's been like, "Oh, I wonder what you're going to be doing this year." I don't know. Like, you know, because I try to pick things out, you know.
Yeah.
I try to be that unique person. I mean, you can only do so much, right? So
Mhm.
I'm still new to, I mean, my creative processes are great, but I'm still new to like, all right, what's this industry really about kind of thing.
Right.
And so you see hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photographers like just with their big old lenses. I got my stuff, but I'm not like in that. I said, I want the story. Give me the small
Yeah.
50 millimeter, you know, kind of thing or whatever.
Mhm.
Or so I learned about the GoPro, so I got that.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So I'm
Oh
like,
yeah.
all right, well, we'll stick that in the thing while I'm taking a photo behind the GoPro with my other camera. So
There you
I'm
go.
capturing the dogs, you know, trying to do that, and that's why I have a video out on my YouTube that they're capturing the dogs running past
Yeah.
the GoPro, like literally, and then I shot the dogs as well on my Canon
Hmm.
at the same time, you know, so I got different, and then I
Yeah.
bent down and right there in their faces while they're coming by, you
Hmm.
know, so it's definitely something. And then I got dogs peeing or playing, and I was
Yeah.
like, I don't see the other photographer doing that. They all want the
Yeah.
same shot. So I think this year I might, and I was doing the fur coats or the fur, anything that was the fur, because we have Ferrandi.
Hmm.
And so they have like the wolf hats, like literal, it's made out of
Wolf
the
coat.
actual animal, you know, and fox and all that stuff. And so doing that, and I was like, oh, hey, I love your hat. You know, can I
Yeah.
take a photo, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to put those, yeah, so it's worth doing.
Oh,
I mean, really,
absolutely.
I mean, I would love to work with you up here.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
to come
Yeah.
up here
We'll make it happen.
together.
That'd be
Yeah, and
amazing.
really, really do something. And so yeah, I just wanted to showcase Alaska that way, and you know, and do something with the native Alaskans and getting their stories and all that
Yeah.
stuff, you know, and journalistically. But yeah, no,
Hmm.
this is where people need to, they're creative. That's why I don't. The gatekeeping just can't happen. We need to
Oh,
show
truly.
that it's a lot of work, and
Right. And that's the thing that's like that's almost a paradox because it's like it's such a collaborative experience. How do you gatekeep that?
yeah, right. That's so stupid. Like
Right.
why would you? It's that whole I don't want nobody to know or take my job away. It's I mean we all have our own issues, like
Mhm.
or
Oh,
our own
truly.
stuff.
Yeah,
Art is art,
it
you
is.
know.
Hmm.
Art is art, and um, we all can collaboratively put something together,
Hmm.
you know, and really bring it out, and to really bring some kind of goodness to this world and the positivity. Like the trash cans out here are art, pieces of art. They painted the trash cans.
That's awesome.
And right. And I was like, wait, you know, and I love that fact that they
Yeah.
allowed that to happen. They painted the trash cans, they graffitied stuff, but the graffiti is actually good stuff. You know what I mean? If
Right.
you see different buildings or if you see different, like the art, what was
Hmm.
it on the art, Blaine's art, they have their big old trash can is graffitied, you know, and
Gotcha.
different places, and they got like the Northern Lights painted on there or
Oh,
something.
that's so cool.
It's I was like, what, you know, so you can be so creative out here, and that's what the world needs is that
Absolutely.
the
Yep.
ability to not be jacked up for doing something positive. You
Exactly.
know?
Yeah, ego just cannot let ego get in the way, especially when you're trying to make something good. Like,
Mm,
I understand if there's times on sets where if you're like as a director, you need to, be like, hey, we need to get this done this certain way because this is the vision.
yep.
But you don't bring an ego into it. You don't like undress people on sets. If you have problems with people, you take it off to the side. You don't do it in front of people. You don't make an example out of anybody. You leave ego at the door, and you
Right.
go in and make the damn art.
Yeah. And listen to the ideas that they may have something they're trying to help you with the vision, and
Exactly.
you know, and it may work. You know,
Hmm.
have that, to me, to have that extra of like, okay, well, we'll tape it. We'll see if it works. You know
Yep.
what I mean? If it does, it does. If it don't, it don't. It's still taped, but it
Yep.
gave that person a willing, you know, they were heard, you know,
Hmm.
and it creates a better environment
Exactly.
or
that kind of validation, is what a team needs.
hmm absolutely. And I hear that a lot of producers don't do that. I understand that the vision is the vision,
Mm-hmm.
but like but at least to me, just at least hear them out,
Mm-hmm.
let them act it out. You have no idea what you can be blessed with on that end.
Absolutely.
Like, and so yeah, you'll have a better outcome if you just, I mean, I know it's more SD cards, but, but it helps. It
Oh,
really
yeah,
helps.
for sure.
And
Absolutely.
don't give them pizza, okay?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We were doing a project around here. It's interviewing a bunch of different filmmakers around the area. It's called Paid For in Pizza. It's all
Yeah.
about the independent film scene.
Oh man, paid for in pizza. That's great. Like, yeah, I'm so tired of pizza.
Yeah, I know. I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm usually
Me
there
too.
hanging.
And, like, it was okay before my bariatric surgery. So I was like, all right, well, I can have a little bit of ice cream here and there. You know what I mean? I'll just kill myself later.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Now it's literally a death sentence.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No. So I can't even that whole. Would you have a protein shake? Well, you can forget that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I have to really come creative on that end just to try to get protein in, like on a days that I couldn't eat,
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah, I usually get pea plant-based protein. So
I like those milks.
Oh, I love them. I love
that
plant milk. It's so
that
good.
Ripple milk. Ripple milk. Did you try that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is so good. I was like, wow, I never even heard of it until my nurse said something. Like,
that milk. I love oat milk too.
Oat milk is too much for me, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That messes my stomach up.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah. Ripple was the one that was like, okay, well, we stick with that. Soy milk, it has to be heated though.
Interesting.
Yep. I cannot have anything cold like that if it's like that. But if it has to be heated up, like in a coffee, everything has to be like 180 degrees. Like,
yeah.
And I was like, this is stupid, but okay. If I can drink it, I can drink it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it doesn't kill you.
Yep. But yeah, no, I mean, shoot. So where exactly are you from right now?
Currently I'm based out of Cleveland. Just a little south from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Yep. So just a little bit far away from you.
Just is that like across the street?
Yeah, just down the way just a bit.
Okay. I mean, yeah, across the street. That's yeah. Ohio. That reminds me of that show, the Drew Carey show. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Yeah, Mimi. Yeah, I was in Pennsylvania, so I wasn't too far from you.
Yeah, you're not too far. Yeah, we're like an hour and a half-ish from like Pittsburgh. I travel to Pittsburgh every once in a while just to help out with some projects or do a job.
Yeah, it's not that far from Pittsburgh, honestly. Nope. I was shocked.
Yeah. I do like the Midwest. It's a very nice place to, just live, raise kids. It's a good place.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's your favorite thing to do in Ohio?
It's kind of hard because I do everything in Ohio, and there's a lot of things I do.
All right. Favorite restaurant.
Oh, geez. Let's see. If we're doing like Cleveland native, it would be probably Slyman's. Slyman's is like very famous for their beef sandwiches, and it's just delicious.
Beef, so Slyman's. What kind of like is that a bar?
It's kind of like it's not a chain. It's a mom and pop owned kind of deli and sandwich shop up in Cleveland. On any given day, the lines are usually like down the street and around the corner. because
Wow.
they're very prominent around the area. People come from around the country to go to Slyman's to get a very good sandwich.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's see. What else? What else? What else is in Ohio? What is do you have like a favorite park that you would go to?
So funny that you mention it. The Cuyahoga Valley National Park is in Ohio, one of the natural beauties of America, and we're actually starting we're doing pre-production for our next feature film. It's a gritty Midwestern called Cuyahoga Kid,
Huh.
and it's basically going to be an awesome Western set kind of around our area. Get a lot of people jazzed up from Ohio at least, but we're definitely trying to make it a an excellent experience for not just the people involved, but for the community.
Okay. Nice. Okay. All right. So what can you do in that park? Like, is it we got all these
Uh,
animals, or is it
oh
just a
yeah,
walk
there's no
or
there's we have a lot of birds here. A lot of like migratory patterns go through Cuyahoga Valley. Um, but yeah, there's I mean just about anywhere. You know, there's squirrels and birds, and we have chipmunks, we have river otters, things like that. Um, and the park itself is just humongous. Like it spans across a humongous portion of Ohio as it is. So there's lots of hiking. There's fishing and trails and canoeing, horseback trails. There's a train that you can take that goes around the valley, so you can kind of like stop at different key points. But there's so many just different natural beauty spots that are within the Cuyahoga Valley that we just really want to highlight and show that things can be done here, especially right now in Ohio. Things can absolutely be done.
okay. Well, you were mentioning train, so is this the train like a regular train, or is this like just the
Mhm.
specific train
It's
that
it's a specific yeah. It's on a specific route that goes like around the park or through the park. I've never actually been on it myself, but it's basically like a train that takes you to all of like the major like key locations around the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and you can go through and have fun and take a bike on there and do the whole trail.
wait, you could take a bike on the train?
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the things that people like to do is they'll take their bikes or I don't think you can really fit a horse on that thing, but but yeah, people like to bring their bikes, go to the trails, and the train will kind of just take them around the park.
Okay. Wow. That's oh, I'll have to look that up, and when I come back down to the States.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a beautiful spot.
And what's the pricing like out there, like for that whole
Oh,
ordeal?
it's
Is it
free.
free?
Yeah, it's free. Yeah,
And
our taxes pay for it. Just walk in, hang out, do some hiking, go explore some caves, see the waterfalls, and
ooh,
enjoy the beautiful scenery of Ohio.
okay. All right. Yeah, because I've been trying to find something about Ohio, Ohio that I actually like. I'm not saying I don't like Ohio. I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
like um I like to be entertained or inspired, and I'm an
Mhm.
outside person. So like driving through Virginia, I was
Yeah.
like tree. This is like 5 hours worth of tree. I
Trees,
mean, I'm like,
trees.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like driving out west from here. It's just corn, 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 and then you get to Denver, Colorado, and then there's mountains.
Yeah, like well, my brother he lives in Colorado Springs.
Oh, very
So
cool.
yeah, so he goes out in that whole
That's
mountain hiking.
awesome.
Supposedly, it looks like Alaska, or
Yeah.
and I was like, huh, okay. It's just the only thing is that Alaska has more of the animals coming to you
Yeah,
versus
yeah, for sure.
staying out, staying clear from the people. You
Mhm.
know, where our tourists like to try to touch the animals.
That's ridiculous.
Uh huh.
I've seen that at Yellowstone, and people are just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, right. The
Like they're props
bison.
or something.
I know, right? I'm like, dude.
Ridiculous.
So this animal is okay. I'm,
Yeah.
I, I mean, I have to. I'm not gonna lie. I do laugh at the videos But I'm like, are you stupid?
Yeah, right. Like, you think this ginormous 2-ton bison isn't going to absolutely gore you?
Yeah, just because they're used to you. I mean, granted, I am a bear whisperer, moose whisperer, all that stuff, but don't do what I do, guys. I don't go out and touch. I'm not like Timothy Tidwell, where like I was, he was special, but he taught me not to do what. But there is a certain way to be part of the land with the animal and still enjoy each other. I mean, I go out and I eat lunch. I have my own little thing. It's a no trauma allowed stuff, but it's just you have to know your animal, know what they're about. You can't just randomly go in and do all that. So when I take pictures, I wait, I talk to them, I thank them, and I think it works better that way,
Definitely.
and you allow them to know that you're there, you stop, and you'd be like, all right, you watch their ears, watch their nose, whatever it is, and if they're, just don't bother them like that, like
Right.
don't
Exactly.
do it. Like just but don't be stupid. No, I'm
Right.
sorry, not say that word. Let me just say, don't be special.
Yeah.
Um, because a bison really can kill you.
Oh,
All of
100%.
them can, but
It
they
kills
are,
more people in Yellowstone than
yeah,
bears or anything else, really.
yeah. I'd rather encounter the bear versus the bison. Like
Yeah.
we have our bison up here,
Mhm.
and everything, and we have our, they're in there, they're way out yonder. I didn't even know we had them up here until I seen them in the conservation. I was like, we have what? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I was like, huh, that's quite interesting. Now I'm going to have to go
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere to go find them, to go take the picture in the real. Like, I mean, the conservation center is great. I love it. That's a great place out here to really um, learn about the animals too.
Mhm.
But it just, I was like, gosh, why are people and feeding the bears?
That's insane. I would never.
I do what I do love about the bears, right? Well, all the animals, but something I learned up here: they don't care about you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They're living their
People,
happy bear life, and if
absolutely,
food comes along and you might be the food.
they really don't want to eat you. Like you walk by them, they don't care about you.
Yeah.
You go to your respected tree, but and let them
Mhm.
do their thing. You keep walking, but they I don't take my dog out on walks in the woods. I'm not that stupid. See, something I've
Yeah.
learned was that your animal can get you killed faster than you can personally get yourself killed
Mhm.
in the situation. Now, if somebody else has a dog out there while walking and stuff, we all take care of each other. But I know that I'm watching out for the person that's ahead. We all have like this thing of, okay, so seen a moose over here. Be careful on
Yeah.
the trail. And then, if the dog, you guys got the dog, we'll go beat up the bear somewhere. You know what I mean? We'll protect each other, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's a code, so
Mhm.
no matter where we're
Yeah.
at.
Right.
But me personally, I'm not bringing my dog. I love to walk. I would love to walk my dog, but he has issues. But the little dogs. I don't know if you've seen that video, and it was in Alaska of the brown bear on the trail, and I was on that trail. That's near my house, actually.
Mhm.
Of the little dog chirping at the bear. The bear was way out yonder, but the
Yeah.
dog decided to go out and was like out of nowhere, right? And the bear just looks back, and the guy's like, "Yo, excuse me." I mean, the guy could have just walked away. It was not a problem. See, that's what the bears are like, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but the dog decided to go yap 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 yap, and I was like, "Of course, it's a
Jeez.
little one."
Yeah. Of course.
Like, no offense to little ones. I love them all, but little ones, they're snack attacks for me. They're little snacks,
Yes.
like, and they don't belong to me up here. One in Alaska.
Mhm.
Up here, you need something that's going to help you not die.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
um, like, but that kind of stuff will get you killed.
Oh yeah.
Thinking that that's going to help. No, please don't do that. Little tidbit, guys. Don't do that. Don't. I know you love your puppy, but the animals, like, I've watched the bears mess with people. It's
Oh
too
yeah.
funny. It is too funny. that's what really got me in that photography. I wanted to showcase their other side of the personality versus that fear, right? So I want to, that's in the film. I want to do that in the film, and doing that other side of their personality of all the bears and the moose and all that stuff, real wild out here. And so like, so just them just like, oh, I'm going to get you, that kind of thing, And then I'm like, oh, I see what you're doing, bruh. Like, people are like just screaming. I was like, you just don't scream. Just stop it.
Yeah, right.
Stop. You just like, yo, get, Bob, and stuff like that. But it's a mess. But yeah, no, people, please don't touch those bison. I'm just being real.
Gosh, tell me about it. Yeah, it was so, that was like, I loved going to like national parks. That was pastime that my girlfriend and I would do. We would go take a road trip every summer out somewhere different. One of the years was Yellowstone, and that was one of the things that always just hurt me, was seeing these people trying to get too close to the wildlife, or they think that they're not going to get melted into a geyser if they decide to step off the trail. And it's like, at some point, it's like, natural selection. But at the same time, be courteous at least to the natural environment around you. Like, at the very least, just be a good soul and just leave the animals alone. Have a nice time. Take your picture for your mantle, but don't screw with the bears. Don't screw with the bison.
Right. And the trash on the ground.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Put the trash in the trash can.
Mm-hmm.
Leave it. Do not leave it in. That is a huge pet peeve for me.
Same.
When I'm out in the wild,
I've yelled at people straight up, just pick up their damn trash. Like, as soon as I see it, I call it out immediately.
Absolutely. Those animals can get sick. They don't know what it is. They'll eat it. The babies, they can get like, I had a moose right here at my house, a baby, and the trash was on the ground like crazy, but he decided to have a bag or something over his head. You have to take that stuff off. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. They don't know.
Yep,
and
they don't know.
Them too. Just because, like, just the trash can's 2 feet away from you. Put it in the trash can. I know the stupid ratings take it all out, but put it back in. Like, and when you're like, honestly, I like to open, if I'm throwing away like a bag of apples that went bad or something, you know what I mean? Open the bag, right? And so dump it.
Get stuck.
Yeah, open the bag and dump the apples or whatever into the thing, because the birds will pick those out of the trash cans. So it's best to have that stuff open. All your food and all stuff, just go ahead and open up the canister, whatever it is, and let them pick it out that way, versus having to have all that plastic in there, and they're just like tearing it apart or getting stuck or whatever it is. That is horrible. That I can't stand when the trash, I see cans in the middle of the woods and in the water, beer cans in the water,
That's
or your bottles, or just, it is horrible, And I was like, man, they got to stop this. And that's something that I need to journalistically do, is really, really, I want to put that together as I have all these ideas. I'm just being real.
Right. It's always
just, I don't know how to use the equipment. Like, it's the problem.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're just utilizing what we got, but
absolutely. Yeah, it's so
that
insane.
kind of stuff. Why are humans so mean? Like, on that end, like lazy, mean, and
it's like we think we own the entire world, but I mean, we just live here.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
Yeah, and just because you're in the middle of the mountain, you don't think we see. You don't think we see the trash, like, just because it's not. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's still, we still see it, or placing the rocks on top of each other. Like, I don't.
They're the cairns.
Is that what they're called?
CAIRN.
Yeah, I guess so. I was like, that's not natural. Just leave the environment alone.
Yeah, for sure.
Please leave the environment alone.
Right.
Like, and I just, it'll mess up the ecosystem. It'll mess up everything, and it'll start killing off the fish, start killing off the frogs, all of that, and you don't know. just really
Right.
don't know. And so it'll then, if the owl comes out and eats the the fish, that fish just ate something that was horrible,
Mhm.
the owl can get just and it'll go just start getting endangered. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then doing that in the ocean, the whales can come up or the sharks or whatever it is. You're endangering and putting things in endangerment and extinction kind of stuff.
Right.
So we
Yeah. When I was a couple of years ago, we used to live on an island called St. Kitts while my girlfriend was going to vet school. And I worked with a sea turtle conservation place where the first thing that I ended up shooting with them was a sea turtle release.
oh
It was a turtle named Bump, who had I'm pretty sure had some form of disease that they had to kind of rehabilitate off of them, and they were able to get them back to normal and push them back out. But while I was with them, it's very insane to me just how much pollution we throw just away into the ocean and how that affects the wildlife and the fish and the sea turtles and just everything that's below the water. And you get a real opportunity to just see how much damage just we do in
yeah,
general. And it's good to be able to go out there and be able to make and tell that story to everybody, to give them that warning, like, hey, we're here we're here to cohabitate with the rest of these beings here. We're not here to just destroy their habitats. We're not here to just straight up eat them. We're here to respect their life here on Earth. And to help facilitate that is something that I like to do. I like to help nonprofits and other people tell their stories. And one of those stories was the St. Kitts sea turtle rehabilitation. Uh, it's it's an incredible thing that they do there.
yeah. Sea turtles are one of my favorites. I
Yeah.
would love to meet a sea turtle.
That's one of the videos on my YouTube channel was the release of that turtle. We had like a drone up in the air, and there was people surrounding. It was one of the island events where people gather from around the island to see the turtle get thrown back into the water. And I had some people out in the ocean with GoPros as I'm getting the aerial shot. They had the GoPro in the water as it's coming into the water. And
Oh, that's
yeah, we
awesome.
interviewed the director of uh, the nonprofit itself, and you really get to learn just how much impact we have on our ecosystem.
Right. And again, we're not trying to gatekeep.
Truly, yeah.
This telling these stories is what it's about,
Mhm.
and to help the environment get better, healing, and
Mhm.
whatever it is, and to the people, to the businesses that are trying to have an impact, a positive impact on the in the earth,
Yeah,
and bringing this out, and helping them grow, and that's something. Yes, we should be getting paid for our work, but
Mm.
our passion is to bring it out.
Oh, exactly.
But
Yeah, I mean, if there's the age old question: is it art if you only do it for likes?
thank you, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, yeah, and so, and this is why I do the broadcast. You know what I mean? This is
Mhm.
when I can, once I learn more on how to do more things, it'll get better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
right. And I
this
think
is,
honestly, a lot of it is just doing it. Like that's the best way, at least that I learn, is just by doing. And we've all started somewhere. And I mean, if I ever make it out there, or if you ever make it out here, I should say if, but when, uh,
oh,
it's all a learning opportunity. It's going out there and doing it and seeing the actual process of production and seeing that yeah, there's a lot of parts, but all these parts work together, and when you see that happen, it's a lot less scary for sure.
yeah, absolutely. Well, you got me as family now, so I mean, like you're part of my family. So
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and all that. Like it's yeah, it's I'm just a big hater of gatekeeping. It's just I can't say that enough. I'm just a big
Yeah,
hater.
truly.
I don't understand the greediness. Um,
Yeah, I know. It's just there's just too much greed. Too much greed. to, especially in such a collaborative art form, I understand making money back in investors and that are in executive producers and all that. But if you have a sound plan from the beginning, there's no ego that needs to go into it. There's no gatekeeping that needs to go into it.
Right.
It's, if you have something that you can make and you can make it, just make the damn thing. Whether or not you're good at doing it or not, the first step of being somewhat good at something is sucking at something.
Yep. Yep. And it's got to suck about 10,000 times before that.
Oh, trust me, there's plenty of stuff that that's not on YouTube anymore that I've made from when I first started. And there's stuff that is still on YouTube that is just secret Easter eggs for if I ever get big enough to where people want to like do deep dives, I'm sure they'll find it somewhere. But it's not something that I'm like, here, watch some of my old stuff, even though if it was, for the time pretty okay and ambitious as it was. I like showing people what we do currently, and just being able to see like how far we've come to where we are now and how much more that there still is to do, because I'm nowhere near as good as where I want to be. But
right.
It's that process. It's being able to recognize where you were and where you are now, and still being able to kind of get a laugh out of it. Even like watching that old Destin video, I'm like, oh my god, that B-roll is too long. Oh my god, I stayed too long on that shot. Yeah, I had my own production card. Yeah, it's super funny.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's all good. It's good. It's good to watch for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just, man, it's just fun to do it all.
Oh yeah, truly. I don't want to do anything else. Like I can't. I say that all the time. I have to work for myself. I have to do what I want to do. Because either way, I wouldn't feel like I fit anywhere in life if I wasn't a filmmaker. Truly.
I totally agree. Like I can't work for the man no more. Like when I'm at the job, of course I'll go in there and help them, but I'll probably do it for free or something, because I'm like, but I'm supposed to like not stay, in that one physical position, unless I'm like supposed to, like for just a season, and then, but to learn something. But I'm more of a one woman, like my own.
Yeah.
Build that. I'm like, okay, I got ideas here, there. I'm working. I got 20 tabs open.
Yep.
My ADHD brain and autistic brain, and it's like, okay, but I was like, I can't. I don't like being on that one track mind. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I was like, listen, I don't like when no other tabs are open. I tried it. I'm not about it. Like, it's nice to a point. I was like, I don't know how people could do that.
Yeah,
now,
right.
And I was like, if I have an idea, I have another tab that'll be open for a minute. You know what I mean? Like, I can put it there. I know it's there, but it's like having a notebook where I can write down stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm like, okay, at least it's there. All right. If it comes up, I'll have that, write it down, or whatever. It's in that tab. I'm still working towards the goals, and it's still there. But if I have that one track mind where I'm just working, okay, so I'm only texting everything today. Boring.
Yeah, right. What else can we do?
All right. So while I'm texting, I'm doing something else. I'm like watching a different video as I'm texting, but my brain is working in 10 different ways on that. Like, okay, so now I'm writing something down. I have another I have 5 text messages or whatever that I'm texting other different people. It is great.
Yeah.
But I always say that I'm always a beginner.
Oh, definitely. Me too.
I learned to say that because I'm always learning, and somebody else is better than me. And even though they're like, are you sure you're a beginner? Because you're pretty professional. I'm like, well, no, I mean, stuff looks professional, but I mean, I'm a beginner because I'm still learning. And if you have something that you can teach me, then of course I'm a beginner. That's it. Plain and simple. Always got to stay learning, guys. Stay learning. Don't stop. Don't think you know it all, but also even in your times of growth, show somebody what you actually learn. You don't have to be an expert at whatever you're trying to learn. If they're just trying to learn, like I said, how to turn on the camera, That's what you know expertly at this point because you worked hard to figure that out. Show them that. You help somebody out, you know.
Yeah.
I'm still learning that ISO and, you know, f-stops, all that stuff. Right? So I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
holy principle of,
I'm just like, look, 1600, that's what we're staying at. That's what we figured out at the Iditarod. 1600, my personal thing. Well, I don't care what that stuff meant, but I was like, as long as I know that picture came out right, that's how we're on this person.
There you go. Yeah, right. As long as it looks good, what else are you going to say?
Right. You got to do it your way, but also learn, you know, learn what you can, but also try it on your own.
Oh, absolutely.
And make it uniquely fit for you. You know, like that's being your own, having your own voice.
Right.
In the art.
Absolutely. I mean, even now, like I've been at this for almost 10 years. I'm just starting to what I feel like is developing my own style. Like I'm not just pointing a camera at something and shooting it, but I feel like I'm finally starting to get my own like somewhat cinematic style with the equipment that I use and the different things that I kind of put into each and every project. And it's something that's developed, you know, it's developed from, you know, those early steps of learning how to turn a camera on. You know, it's part of the process of, you know, learning is doing and then figuring out how you express yourself through that.
Exactly. And I'm glad you said something like that because I was finding out my style as well. And I kind of know my style. I'm pretty good at it, but I'm open to all kinds of different things. I still won't do boudoir. Okay. That's just not me. I'll do boudoir for animals. Like it's the essence of whatever, but I can do boudoir and I can do weddings and I can do all that stuff or whatever if I choose to. But there was something that I learned when I first started and I was looking at YouTube videos, right? And there was this lady who was going through her personal pictures and she was piecing it together. I was like, well, this is kind of cool. I wasn't even there yet. You know what I mean? It just happened to pop up. And I was like, well, this is all right. So I listened to what she was saying. And something that stuck with me was she said, you don't have to, you know, you learn your own personal style of what you are, what you do not have to photograph everything. You do not have to feel obligated when somebody says, do you do weddings? You can say no. If you don't want to do it, if your personal thing is mountains, stick with it. You know, like you do not have to feel like you are, you have to do it because you are a photographer. That's what and I was like, because that's what I always have to feel. Just because you have a camera and you're trying to get into the field. I didn't have to. I was like, I chose wildlife. Yeah. You know, that's my choice, my personal choice. I chose the Iditarod. I chose that kind of stuff. I'm learning now with the journalistic with the people. You know, but I will learn. I'm okay with learning different styles. You know, like I learned about the reflection or, you know, reflection. And I said, you know, in my class I took, that was an easy class for my college. I just needed a class. You know? I'm already in photography, but it was photography 1. But there was something I learned how to take my own selfie with my own camera, with the Canon. I never did that, and I was like, that's actually kind of cool. But hard work going back and forth and trying to figure that out. I was like, but other than that, but there was something else that I learned was in the reflection portion of that, right? I was cleaning a house and I actually was needing a picture, and it just so happened I looked at this lady's her vanity set, and we were supposed to have reflections in there, and I had to have myself in there, right? So I took a picture of it, and I was like upside down in one of it was like really cool. I was in the mirror. It was a whole bunch of mirrors, but I was in the mirror, in a different mirror, those stupid little round ones, that the old school ones, but it was upside down, right? And then there was a fan and one little click. And I said, well, click, click, that's it. I'm a quickie clicky, so I don't have to do that. So, but then I looked at it as I was looking at it, I had that bariatric surgery, right? And this is where I got this at. and I have I have a problem with body the dysmorphia portion, and that reflected the dysmorphia. Like I was fine in one, but I was upside down in the other. I still have, the way I see myself, and I was like, you know what, this might be a good style to do in different things, and trying to work with, maybe that's something I'll do with the boudoir. I don't know, but working with people who have that kind of a dysmorphia, really finding a different style, an artistic piece on that.
Right. That's so interesting. Trying to help people feel comfortable in their own skin is definitely a skill.
Yeah.
That's definitely needed.
Yeah. And so doing that and just kind of learning, and that's a new one for me. So learning different things, like learning the styles and learning how to do it. I said, so being open, everybody just be open to new ideas, and new things that you never know that you could do. I didn't know I could do different things. So now I'm like, well, I don't have to pay $500. I have a personal photographer. He's really great. Michael W. Rogers Photography. He is my personal photographer, but everybody else took my photography, and it was like, I looked so horrible in it. Like, I was like, what the heck? So I trust him to bring out the best in me. You know what I mean? But when I learned how to do my own selfies, it's like, oh, I could do my own commercials, and you know what I mean? And stuff
exactly.
like that. So like, it's like, well, that saves me about $500 right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Learning how to do that, saving money, but also helping another creator, like my background in here. I could do it, but I prefer to pay somebody else the money because they have that skill, like you said earlier, having that team to do the work, take off the heavy load.
Yeah.
By not doing it yourself, support one another, and stuff like that. The whole game right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody needs to eat.
That's absolutely right.
And we all see how the world's going with the food right now and all that stuff. And we all need to stick together, figure it out. If you got a skill, a gift, or whatever that, we could use, it's the people that we are connected to that we could be able to call up, and that's genuine. And that's why we say the no gatekeeping, because if you want to eat, we're here. But if you want to keep that, and we can't pull from you too, and you want to just pull from us, we'll feed you, but we also need that back too. You know what I mean? So, but we should be able to do that obviously we pay. I have no problem paying the people, like buying their books or whatever it is. You just don't know. And just because they're an actor or actress or whatever doesn't mean that they're millionaires.
Oh, absolutely.
I learned that the hard way or the quick way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We have to be very, very slow about what we speak about on somebody else. They may need help too. So who knows? Because obviously those things in the world it's just hard. So
it is. The world is hard and unforgiving enough.
Yeah, for real.
Leaving a little bit of space for grace for people is something that, is a hard learned lesson for some people. But at least even like these past couple of years, you gotta recognize that the world is a hard enough place without adding into it.
Exactly. The toxicity has to stop.
Truly.
We have to start healing, and the earth has to start healing. Right now it's all that toxic stuff. It has to come out. It really has to, and it's like a tree. You can't just uproot it. You have to pull the roots out. It's hard. Yes, we're going to go through. Yes, but pulling it all out and replant. We can't just leave that whole thing open, but planting the good seed, and that's what we're trying to do now is trying to put those seeds in the ground. And it takes time for those seeds to grow, but we have to keep watering the seeds and, and helping each other out. And so like just really replanting into a good solid ground, but it is possible.
Absolutely.
So pull the weeds and plant the seeds.
That's right.
So
I love that. Pull the weeds and plant the seeds. I love that.
Pull the weeds, plant the seeds, but don't leave it open for more toxic stuff to come in.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
one of my best friends, he has a saying that the cream rises to the top, but so
Mhm.
does scum. And so you always have to kind of watch out for, those kind of people that want to be those kind of gatekeepers. But that's part of my mission truly, is to make enough people and to help people get to where they're going, so that way we can avoid any more gatekeeping. That's just truly the downfall of a lot of the creative process that comes with filmmaking.
Absolutely. Yeah. And in any job, not just filmmaking,
Oh
it's
yeah.
this: pull the weeds, plant the seeds, stop
Hmm.
being toxic in the hospital, stop being toxic. And, we all are going through it. We all have a life. We all have things that we all have to be compassionate about each other's lives. We all can't expect each other to be in their lives forever. You know what I mean? That's something a lot of us do, is we expect people to
Right.
be forever, and they're not. They're not
Mhm.
meant to. We're not meant to. We're just here to be on the journey with you, but also learn from each other, all that. And
Yeah.
so, like, it's just cut the toxic out and stop yelling at your kids.
Yes. Exactly.
Like, you could talk to them, you can apologize to them, teach them how
Mhm.
to be accountable by being accountable for yourself.
Yep.
Like, if you were wrong, tell them, I apologize. Just because they're little. That's something I had to learn with my son. He wasn't just a kid, he was a little I'm not saying this as a bad. He was a little human,
Yeah.
okay? At the point, he's a little man, and I have to treat him still like a man, but he's had it on his own, things. Girls too, but treating them like human beings.
Right.
I learned to listen to what he has to say. I trusted what he had to say. He,
Hmm.
he made mistakes, but he also um, I learned who he was. He loves to observe, and he was pretty quiet, at certain times. And then he'll look at the person, and he'll say something, and it'll be the perfect thing that he needed to say, right? And then just throw the people off because
Yeah.
it needed to hear it, right? Or I needed to hear it. Or he's like, "Mom, let me pray for you." He's a kid, right?
Hmm.
I'm not gonna
Right.
tell him no. I trust it. Like,
Hmm.
dude, you've seen something that I needed to, or whatever. Like, treat your kids with respect and dignity.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to say that as because when trauma happens, me personally, I have nerve endings. My nerves are shot. Literally, they're damaged, all of that. And then trauma really damages the nervous system, right?
Yeah.
So I never had a chance since a baby. So
Sorry.
it's okay. My animals are grandma and grandpa, so we're um,
Let me
um,
shut the door real quick.
uh, but so the nervous system with the trauma, we have to we have to create less trauma in order for our nervous system to be
There we
healed.
go.
So I just wanted to talk about that just for for a second, the nervous system in the trauma, because
Mhm.
that's very dear and near to my heart, because I my surgery never worked, right?
Uh,
So I'm damaged, and so I don't want kids to be damaged. If you can stop the damage now, with the toxic and the trauma and all that stuff, that it doesn't matter if you're tall or an adult or a kid, the trauma
mhm.
really messes up your bodies, so
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, stress hurts you on a molecular level, and it can be passed down through generations if you're not careful. So
absolutely.
it's good to be able to figure out how to talk, how to listen, and to be open to it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, well, with all that, we want to thank you for coming
Yeah,
on. We would
thank
love to
you.
have you back on and see more of your
More than happy to.
videos. And definitely invited to Alaska. And
Absolutely, that's awesome.
would love to work with you here in Alaska, especially on the Iditarod, if we can fix
Yes.
something up or whatever. And and see what we can come up with on that. This year is the 100th year actually of the serum month.
Wow, the centennial. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
I know, right? So I was like, I'm trying to think of what I want to do, but I'm definitely, if I miss it, I can't miss the Iditarod. But yeah,
Yeah, for sure. That's so cool.
but yeah, it's definitely something to experience. So I wish that you
Yeah.
would come up here. It's March, every March.
Mhm.
Ferrandi's in February, and then March 2nd is the actual um, Willow Day. It's a Sunday. Um, and so March 1st is like the Anchorage run, and then March 2nd is the Willow trip.
Wow. I'm putting that in my calendar. Bam.
Yep. You can go to iditarod.com as well, and it'll have all the stuff, and then they have Facebook stuff or whatever. But yeah,
That's
definitely
awesome.
put some stuff
Well,
together.
I appreciate you so much for having me on. If again,
Oh, absolutely. So with all that, we thank you, Oil Runners, and we will be back with other guests. Enjoy your life. Stop being a troll. Be helpful to other people, and just try to have joy this year. No matter what comes your way, joy and happiness. It's all how we look at things in our life. So if I can do it, y'all can do it. Okay. I stopped crying. I was done crying last year. This year, I'm just be like, look, I'm going to do what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to have joy, even though I have surgeries, I have all these things coming up. It's just, it's the way we look at things and how we feel, about them, and just keep praying and loving on each other, and just keep it real. Keep it real in your life. So we love you, and you are more than welcome, no matter if you're a celebrity or not. We all have things, a journey. So come on the show, and we want
absolutely.
to hear your journey. We wanted to talk about all kinds of topics, whether cancer, whatever it is what it is. So we want to hear that, and we want to see your photography. We want to see your art. We have a little club for that too. You don't have to be professional at it. It's the stories behind the art. That's what it's called. So we have that as well. So we'll just, as long as the picture's not blurry, we want to see your sunsets wherever you're in the world, or stuff like that. It's gonna be better, or more and more and more. So come on in. So we love you. Bye.